Hello, everybody. Welcome to our special episode of Learning Things Together, uh, different from fixing things together. Just before we get started, if you want to follow along, you can. This is Learning Things Together, so I'll be covering basics of HTML, CSS, and all that stuff. And so that you can cover around, you will just need some sort of a uh, basic IDE like Visual Studio Code. If it really worse comes to worse, or if you just don't want to bother, you can actually manage what we'll be doing also in a regular text editor. And but I highly recommend you to get something like a Visual Studio Code. So right here. With that, I'll add Jasper to the stage. Hello, Jasper. Any idea if
Hello, hi everyone.
Henry is going to make it?
Yes, he's going to. He said earlier he's going to take quite a while signing in, but
Oh,
he will
okay,
be here soon.
sounds
Okay.
good. So in this case, I'm going to open up our blog template thingy here. Ah, there he is. Hi, Henry. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm
Hello,
great.
hello,
Hello,
Henry.
hello, hello, hello.
So let me get here my tea ready. Today was a bit lazy, so I didn't mention time, but I have some great news internally for you guys, and we'll be getting, let's say, new people on
Wow.
the project. We'll have to start selecting them, and but before we get that, so hopefully next week there is, well, probably not next week, but the week after we might get some people in. So let's get to where we were before, kind of where we were. So we have here, this is a bit more of like on the internal part. You remember, I think it is internally. So we have kind of here like a blog design template for our future blogs. And we'll be talking, we have kind of the basic design of it, of Literary Universe with some basic, with the basic HTML structure. And here is the LU system palette, which will be up to you, Henry, then to update based on any changes you will make. So, as I said, today is learning together. So, if anybody has any questions about anything related to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we'll be working on that. And we'll be doing this through building some, I would guess, templates for our blogs at Literary Universe. So just so that, let's see, everybody knows how it looks like. You just copy the pad here and open it in the browser. So this is our, you could say, the default look. A little bit change here in regards to here to the site question mark, but that's not the important part. Let me check. Yes, that's the top logo, navigation, content. So, pop quiz, Jasper Henry, what can you tell me about HTML? Looking at this here, what does this all mean? I told you there's going to be a test from last time.
Well,
So
Who wants to
basically
go first?
the doc type HTML in the top section is to help identifying which code it is, which is HTML, and then right above it is the language. It shows in English at the moment, and then we have basically like two different parts: the head and the body. Mm, uh, what else? Yeah. Hmm.
So
I think.
let's go by what does the head do, or what's in the head?
Mm, okay, I might need a bit more time. Maybe while I'm trying to remember things, Henry, can you back me up a little bit here?
okay. Head. I think that's for.
If we
That's
simplify it here,
for title, meta, something like that. It's for.
and
I think it's like for attributes that supports some like attributes in search engine, something like that.
very good, very good. Also for listeners, if you want to type in the chat the answers or chime in, feel free to do that. So yeah, we have the HTML, and we always kind of have the end, which is using this slash. So you always need to close. You open, so think of it as a parentheses. The one exception is when you have, or when you have like here the link tag, which you close by having the slash here like at the end before this parentheses there. So ahead is, as was probably correctly said, the meta. It's kind of the only thing that kind of displays from there in the browser itself. Is if we go back here and find the title, which is the blog main page, and let me let me also open here the playground that we've played here for internally. And if I just add here the twos, then refresh, you see that's added here in the title as well. So that's that. And later on, you can like do something called favicon, which is like the icon that we see here. For example, here you can see it from the Party Town scripts. It has like this ta-da emoji there. So that's a favicon that could be put in there. Another thing is to link additional resources. In this case, here we have a CSS, but it can also be JavaScript. And check here, there's a lot of other meta related stuff that can sometimes change things, but that's beyond what we'll be discussing today. Okay, so that was the header. Usually you set it up once and then don't bother with it. So what's the body?
Body. Body is contain the it's for the content itself, like let me
So, I'm assuming since the head area is where the metadata is, the body is kind of like the area where everything in the page is shown, because because metadata is not usually shown, right? So the body is whatever you see in the page, I think.
Yeah, basically that's the content for, on the HTML, I think, like heading, or image links, etc., something like that.
Correct. So body is everything that appears on the main page. So that's all this thing that we see here. And we can then separate it. We have different, tags. Our we have something what could be like the container tag. So that's like nav, main, div itself. That's pretty much just putting things into containers that we can then style and work with. We then have textual tags like H1, which stands for heading 1, all the way up to heading 6. And we have the P as paragraph. Then we have here BR as a break line. And we also have, I do here HR. What would HR be before I refresh? It's for line. So
Okay.
that's another thing there. To tags we attach attributes, so like class, ID, and then it also depends on the type. Like for example, here with the A, which stands for a link, we have the ref, which is a required attribute here, to which you attach where it should go. And we have here, as I said, for navigation, what are these dots thing here? Why don't I have? Let me just do another line here. And also do those. So what is the difference between these three links? /main.html, /fake.html, and then we have a full-blown link address. So what the hell is going on here, guys?
Okay, that is like for the local. For the href is like for the public domain. Is that correct?
Close, but not enough.
Okay.
Because if I want to, I could also just copy the address I have here, and it will go there as well.
So it's not the local, but it's subdomain perhaps below the index.
No. You're thinking a bit differently. So,
Oh, okay.
Subdomain would be something like blog.literauniverse.com. That's not what we are talking here about. So this is a path, Henry, if you remember, to how in the terminal we navigate. So that's another thing. So we use CD, and then we can do web, literary universe. Maybe if I remember which one it is. Or not. So maybe I did. So I can go into the web. Oops, misclicked. What happens now? Go into the material folder. What happens if I do ... in Flash?
You going to upper directory from
Yes, I
that
go up
directory.
one directory. And what happens if I do // literal universe like this?
Then you're going to you're going upper to directory, which is there have a literal universe folder, and then you access it.
Yes, I go up one. It tells the computer to go up one directory, and in there go into the literal universe directory like that. So the same thing is happening here. This is what's called a relative link. So it's relative to the location. So if I move this index in our playground folder up one, it would then go nowhere because it would then just go out of the website itself. It would go to a place it doesn't exist because it's relative to that place. And one dot means that in that directory. In this case, I think it would also work if I just did nothing like that. That helps, especially like later on with importing stuff. So it's good to kind of remember that if you want to kind of link to things in the same project. So we have the classes, we have the IDs. Now let's jump back and review a little bit of CSS. So what can you guys tell me about the CSS that I have here written? What do you remember?
Well, CSS is just for cosmetic purpose. That's all I know. CSS for cosmetic purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So first of all, what does the cascading part of the CSS name? So cascading style sheet is the full name for CSS. What does the cascading part mean? Any guesses?
I used to know that. I forgot about it.
So what happens if I write here again for the body and say margin 40 pixels?
Then the margin will become 40 pixels.
But I already have
So
margin here as 0.
because you put the 40 pixel margin information after below the margin 0, so the basically it only it how do I put it into words? It gets the lost information that you put in the in this case Visual Studio Code.
Then I think the margin 0 will not apply. Then the 40 pixel will be applied, not the 0 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be the more below one, because if you put it like for example, if you put the margin 0 first and then you put the margin 40 pixels, but you put it above the margin 0, then it will make everything in margin 0 instead of 40 pixels.
Yeah, so that's the cascading part. Whatever comes later, whatever is more specific, then that one is going to be applied. And what I mean by the more specific, let's see. Let's do here, since I already added it, class external. Let's do it like that. So we already have here some properties for our links that it's visited, or if it's active, then it will be green. And what I mean by more specific, so even though might have, I'm using here the dot, which is a symbol for a class. So a dot external mean that a link that has a class external. Let's see why it's it's just combining with the empty one. So is going to have, let's just say, background color black, and let's just make here, let's do like aquamarine, the default one. So by default, we are specifying that links have, let me just put this out so it's, you guys see it. Let me remove that. So we are specifying that this, it's going to have this background color. But if I do the a dot external here, what's going to happen is you see that it switches now to black. Probably go to some nicer color, but it's just so means the one that is more specific, that has later definition, is going to be the next, or is going to take precedent. So let's see, guys. Do you have any question? I have just got a message that I need to answer.
Yeah, I have a question, Jan. So why usually people tend to use like a class? Sometimes people are using div. As I remember, people are tend to use class because their habits and using JavaScript. I don't know if I'm correct or not. So people are using the class than the div. So what's the difference in using that?
No, class is a is part of the tag, or it's like the default. You can use it for anything, and so you can just so you can add it to anything. The difference between, and you also see here, is we have ID, which you can use to kind of find things. The difference between ID and class is class you assign to other things. So if you look on like the other design languages, or whatever you want to call it, or like design systems, you will see a lot of different classes, especially like in the early days. Let's see if this is still around. No. Just guessing here. Okay. No. It's been such a long time since this. Okay, here it bootstrap.com. So this is one of the, let's say, oldest say styling systems that has different things. For typography, images, all that stuff. Responsive utilities. It's been such a big time. And let's see. Oh, here's a new version of that. And so here we can see what it's doing. Let me enlarge that. Is that they do have like class, container, text center, then it's row, and then it's like column, and that's because you insert in their default CSS, and if you add these classes, it will then apply the different styles that you want to apply to them. In case of IDs, that one is only one per page, unique. so you can reference that directly, and you will only have that one on the page. If you have more than one ID with the same name, then that's a violation of the standard, and it can, normally, hopefully, the browser is going to handle it, but it's not going to be happy, and it's going to break things if you have more things dependent on it. And this is then later on, for example, in JavaScript, if you are manipulating things and you are picking up things by ID, say, or stuff like that, so that can then really mess things up. In our case, we use React and style component, which is a bit different in these apologies. In these examples, we won't be using that because it's more advanced, but the principle is same. But the thing is that, in that case, you define the element, and then you define what CSS is attached to it. So that one is a bit, say, a different style, but still does the same, and it's more specific for JavaScript and all that stuff. So that's a bit beyond what we have here today. Let me get rid of these ridiculous colors and all that stuff. Questions? So if there are no questions, we are going to learn through practice. So Jasper, Henry, you should have both of you the block design template set up on your system a while ago. So let's take a look on this. And here I want to really look into the Figma and start designing some of the basic which one is it going to be? Yes, we are going to look at the blocks and see what we can design here. So we have this default, say, a playground. We don't need that for now. So we have the main, let's just use that as a template. I'm going to copy it here, and let's see. But archive for now. So we want to see the reader's mode. That's what we want to design. And we want to, we would like to have the, is it here or maybe somewhere?
The reader's mode, yeah, it's around here. So there are 3 alternatives on it. This you could
Yes,
see.
I think, but these in particular, I'm okay. So we have, this is from the So this is still the discovery part, and we have here.
Oh, that one.
Okay, so this one should be hopefully relatively simple. So
Mhm.
let me start my Pomodoro timer. Let's see if we can do this at least partially in 25 minutes. So that one is timer is running here at my side. So it's not archive, it's a post. So first of all, we have, okay, let me open it over
Did
here,
we
post.
pull
So
from or Git Kraken?
I haven't pushed anything yet, but so you should have it on your, it's a different repository. If you remember, kind of separate. And so, and in here, I am looking at this, I will be reusing, let's see what. Okay, so this is my one of the open source projects I work on. So let's just load up and let's switch to come on, Litter Universe. Oh, it was already open. So let's close this so that we have more power. And what I want to do here is let's get to UI themes to our components library. And because we'll be probably copying over some of the some of the LU system components and stuff like that. In this particular thing, the first thing that will be copying over is going to be the headings, which is going to be a bit different. So first thing I am going to put in here all the different headings and kind of the defaults that each of them we have for all of them. And actually I'm going to copy it like this, which you will see is going to throw me a lot of errors, and that is because of how specific we have when it comes to our like internal stuff. So I have to go in here and change things to how we need it in here, because it's here it's more static. So these are the basic setup, and let's see what else do we have. If it's first child, let's see if we can do it like this. First child, then we have in top like that. And then there are other things, but we'll deal with them later. So now what this allows us to do, since it's cascading, we can now then go, for example, here, define H1 again. And add in here, for example, that margin top is 0. Let me quickly check the other headings. They look fine. So yeah, we have the headings here, and this way we ensure that margin top is 0 on heading 1 always. So we have that in our system. So in here on our content, as we see, we also still need to add here our, we have already here the page. So let's look. But in this case, it's not. It's not. It's not being. There is not centering. So let me quickly find that. And that one will have a special component by itself. Yes, so let's see. And let's call this, let's use it as a class centered page. And here we are getting into some noise there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we are getting into positioning and all that stuff. And let's see how we want to do this. So let me copy what we have. We have a lot of logic here. Some padding, some width, and then we have margin. I'll cover, and we have here like the maximum width, and then there, this one is going to be, let's go with the maximum width for our desktop. I don't think we need to worry that much about it. So I think maximum width is kind of self-explanatory what it does. So what is the difference between padding and margin?
Padding is between the top and the below. Margin is between the left and the right.
Wrong. And you, this will be for you important to know, but it's a very common, how should I say it, common thing. It took me also a while to remember it properly, but let's see. I'm looking now here for margin to see. So margin in this case is either 0 and auto. A lot of things to unpack here. Oh, we need to actually also put it in here, another div class. And we said this class here is centered page. So let's add that here. Let's look at what happened here. And this is actually where the, this was going to help you here, this development concepts, figure out what is what. I'm going to switch here to the computed styles, which nicely explains and shows what is margin, then what is border, what is padding, and what's the width. So margin is, or you have the main width or the main content of everything. That's this part. Then you have padding, and that is the distance between the content and the border, in which case this border we have none here. So let's see if I can No, a little more. So it's not visible. So that's that. So that's kind of like the internal spacing. And then you have margin, which defines how much is the spacing towards like the rest of the other elements around. So that will come in later once we start, or probably actually not anymore. It used to be like this played a significant role in distancing things from other elements. Before we had flags and a gap, which we'll be covering here. So, and we use here the auto property, which allows, in this case, we have like a shortcut here, 0, which means up and down. It's 0. So for example, if I add here instead 20 pixels, you will notice that there is a 20 pixels on up and down above the element. And auto means that we'll just take all the possible space, which in this case helps us with centering the element in the center of the page. So with that done, I am going to do here heading 1 and do article title. So that if we remove it, here we go. We have the title of the article. I think we'll have to, if we go back here into the system, let me check. Font sizes, we have some basic things, some variables here, like the palette, and I'm looking here. Oh, okay, so this is kind of very new things. I'm still not very used to it myself. It's using the variables in here. So let's see if that's how we use the variables. No, I put it this. And so that's one thing, so that you don't have to constantly repeat. And if you need to change it in one place, you can easily change it there. But I think it should be fine with just that. One other thing is that I'm thinking here about is the default text color, because I don't think we have the default be complete black. Is that correct, Henry?
Correct. I changed that the black into the 41 code.
Yes. Let me just color. So it's background text, palette. Let's see if we can find it here. Oh, we don't have it here. No, we do have palette light background
It's
text.
quite different. This code is like quite different from what.
Yes, it's. You will notice it's different because we use in this case we use the palette. So to kind of compare it here, we use the palette function to get it from our palette. In this case, since we are outside, we are kind of in the template. We are using something different. We are using the CSS variables, which you define by having dash, the name and the property. And then you can declare, or anywhere where it's connected to, you can just do var parentheses, and inside parentheses to declare what it is. So this should be the color. And if I click on it, so it's 2121, and we are in the light theme. So you said it should be 4141, or?
Okay, let me check. Light. Okay, hold on. Let me check first. The rectangle should be, oh,
And the question,
it should be white. Definitely white. BFFFFF. The light.
That does not sound correct. We'll have to check that later. But one thing, the big thing that what's going on here, you can see is that the 2121, okay, so it should be setting up using this color, because you see it goes again. In this case, we are like, inside the body, so it's using this. It should be using the same color. Let's see, what's the computed color? RGB 333333. Okay, so that's here, and that's 212121. Okay, so it's just me just not seeing it properly maybe here. But here's we have a different different style, so I think that might be something we have to change. Here we are using the grayscale. So it's 6161.
Yes.
Okay, we are getting needlessly into technical details, but so let's get back to styling. We can fix these little details later. There is one more thing that I noticed there as well, which it is where the breadcrumbs.
Yes.
So, and they are especially outside of the main article. So class breadcrumbs. I'll call it here first container, and then we'll have another div which will be just breadcrumbs. What we want to do here is first get the container to do any specific styling. So in this case, it would be how it's, where it is, what is the distance from everything. I'm not worried about typography right now. We are just worried about the
container, right?
The container. So
yeah, it's the height is 26 volts.
That itself, it's not necessary for the container, because the container is the positioning. So what we want is, so here we actually can use the margin. So margin top for the pixels. That's
yes, correct.
One thing. Oops, come on. Maybe not. Save it everywhere. Yes, so now it's 40 pixels. And so what would be the next?
180 pixels. It's for
from the left?
Left from Yeah, like from the vertical container, correct? It's 180
180
pixels.
pixels. Okay, that's nice and good, but it's also going to be 180 pixels on mobile.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm.
So that's
If that
Jesper. I
case,
don't. I don't think that's a very nice thing to be the same on mobile. What do you think, as our UX expert?
yeah, I agree. But we were talking about for desktop, correct?
Yeah. Well, we have to, and that's the big thing in this designing. You need to think about those things. We are working from desktop to how should I say it, to mobile. Normally it's like the other way around. People design first for the mobile and then kind of expand it for desktop. In our case, especially if we look at the design, really the mobile and desktop experiences is not that different. It's just, mobile is going to just be smaller, but it's a nice column, so we don't really have to worry that much about it. It's just about managing things when they get smaller. In the case of the page, that will kind of downsize itself automatically. Let me finish my tea here. Well, so that one is fine. And now let's take a look. Here we have the article title, and the article title, as we see, has margin 0, but it has at the top, it has still the 2 EM padding. So you have to combine. We have to be very careful then here with setting up, lens sizes, and sometimes you need to calculate, especially if you set width 100%, and if you start setting up margin and padding, you need to subtract that, otherwise it's going to go over and gonna go over the width limit of the page, and you will see down here a scroll bar, which is not optimal. So that is something to be wary about when working with padding and margin. So let's see, we have 2 minutes till our first break. I think this separation, thanks to the heading here, is fine, which then leaves us, we have going, and this is kind of the last thing in this quickly thing. We have now one more thing to worry about, or what we want to do is to be semantic. So we'll look at HTML5 article tag, and let's open up these two. And we can look how things should properly be structured. By default, article tags, main, nav are acting the same as div, which has been around since the beginning of HTML, but article has like a special semantic value. As the name describes, it's an article, and in there, you have some special, you can add additional things. So in this case, H1, and here we have like multiple articles, but if you combine it with, say, different sections here, that's like another special tag. You can also use the footer section and also header to describe, to kind of make it easier for people reading it, especially with say screen readers, how what is it about. So if we go here and look up, say header, you can see it's, in this example, it's inside the article. So what we want to do when designing here, we have we'll describe here article. We have heading 1 there. Then we have our header. We'll have also our footer for all the other things. And so if we go here to its footer is over here. It can be standalone, usually as a part of the big site, or I think we did see it over here, an example as footer as part of the article, giving it more of a semantic meaning and easier to read. And let's see. And then we can have, for example, section or div or whatever you want to have a different article, or we can just go straight into writing article text. Oh, let's take a 5-minute break. Any question, guys, or how does that work? Be prepared soon that we are reaching the we are going into our second hour. So I'll have you do more work. So get this ready. I'll then push it, and I'll have you do more of the styling on this.
Okay.
Any questions
Okay.
from the audience? None. So I'll just save it. Let's see what's going to be here. And as we kind of resting, I'm going to find lorem ipsum generator. We have some text in there. Or 5 paragraphs. Let's copy. Paste. Let's do that. Oops. That. So guys, do you have this project open locally? Are you ready to go?
We haven't found that in our local yet.
We definitely have it. We worked on this last time, so
It's
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that I have a folder like admin and app.
Yeah,
but
this
there's
is
not-
different. This is different repository.
Oh, okay.
So if
Okay.
you look on our repositories here, it's the
Oh,
blog
I see.
design
So,
template.
okay.
We'll be then copying that for other things, but
Okay. I
let
will
me get
download that.
my Git Kraken app and upload what we have here, there.
Jan, a very quick question.
Mhm.
if you see from the Visual Studio Code, is there any difference between the, like for example, you have the main.html and then the normalized CSS. What's the difference between the text in white color and yellow color? Do we have?
So yellow color means that there has been a modification, or white color there has been no modification. It's primarily to kind of show you, okay, which files have you touched.
Oh, okay. Huh. S- All right. Okay. Thank you.
Right here.
Oh, and we can also see the modification. Yeah, the yellow. What do you
Yes,
call it? This underlining, weekly underline. Okay.
correct. So for him,
So I successfully opened the block design template, but it's only got the main.html.
yes, I'm
And
going to upload this. I'm going to do stream upload. Let me get that up to you guys so you can. It's up. What I currently have. You will notice that once it refreshes, it's all gone. Maybe. Oh, yeah, he was just yelling at me that it's issues here. So let's get started. So yeah, now I'm pushing it so you can guys get it. And let's continue together, or more precise, I'll have you guys do more stuff. So, and we'll have to fix a few things here, which is good. So that's about learning things together. So I guess you can all see the problem here with our footer.
oh, okay.
So what is going on here? Let me open up the footer here, and specifically the main layout. That's probably the issue here. So why the heck is, now if I refresh it, why is footer so
Right.
wrong?
Hmm.
How would you guys go around to figure out what to fix here?
Is it maybe because the footer is not pinned to the footer section to the below?
Nope.
In a way, no. Um, oh,
What about this?
okay.
Still not there, but
Better.
let's.
So we still have that white space below the footer with
Yes. So
footer
first
with.
of all, let's go. This is grid full page. So in this case, if we then had like the minimum height, let's refresh it and see if we don't have the minimum height. Here we won't really see anything, but if we go to the main, and if we don't have the, let's see what we have here. So we have here this display, minimum height doesn't affect anything. We have this thing. Here we also have minimum height. Let's remove that. And we have the extra here because of the feedback button, which is very strange that it's there. Set. Not really. So if we remove all of that, it goes, the position goes there, and that's very strange. Let's try this height 0. I think. So let's not worry about that one for now. And this kind of, should I say it? So first of all, we have the issue here with the height, and I think something is like min height. So if we get rid of that, got rid of that, that's the top navigation container. We can break this very quickly with the flex direction. Here we go. Here's the, so if we collapse completely the minimum height and all that stuff, as you can see, it's going to just jump up, which is because how things are consecutively. So if we add the minimum height, it jumps down. And this is where we come into a bit of a problem, as you can probably see, because what we want is to be at the bottom of the content. We are kind of forcing it here to be, the minimum height, what it is, which is 100 view height, which is pretty much the, as you can see, no matter what I do, the scroll bar remains the same. So it takes the height of this available screen and applies that there. And in this case, because we have already some elements here at the top, if I want it to be there, I would have to, of course, I have to like reduce this, because I would have to take into account here how much percent is of view height is this, and remove that in order to get it here by default. So that's where this comes in. Let's move to our, so in this way, we just have here the little space, which is results of this. So let's not worry about this. So this one is, this one in this case is correct. Let's see. Yes, and it does not go there. So that one is fine.
If this push to let's say public or In production, do we still see the white space below the footer yet? Or
No. This is just a template we are building here, so you wouldn't
Okay.
have to worry about this because this gets taken care of in the Glitter Universe systems, and I will probably figure out or this can be like a challenge for you guys, figure out why this is here, and because I have here, you see the button is there, it's not properly positioning where it should. You can actually see it here. If I hover, it displays there as well. So I'll leave that to you guys to kind of figure out with positioning. You as you kind of go through it, you will figure out, or you will learn about you have to learn about positioning and all that stuff, which can be quite a challenge, and so that will be, I think, fun from that aspect. So you won't be worrying about the breadcrumbs container. I'll add the code for the breadcrumbs and all that stuff later on from what we currently have. We do have here some. So what we have here, we have the title, we have the text. I am going to quickly check here and implement our system code for image. Max width 100%. Display property of block unless otherwise is set. So we'll keep it like this. So, and let's get some nice sci-fi panorama. The boring sci-fi panorama. Let's go with something crazy a little bit. Yeah, let's open up. And it's not really an image, it's giving us some problem, but we are developers here. This is just a minor inconvenience. And you can figure out what they are trying to do here. Okay, here we go. Here we have the source. Let's grab that and put that at the top here. IMG, that stands for images. It's going like that. SRC, we add it there. And normally we should also add alt picture. And we should normally also be potentially adding, there we go. Adding the width and height and all that stuff, but it will at least, get us there. Probably get bigger one, but this one is fine. We can leave that to you guys to fix later. So we have a nice picture here, as similar to what we have here. Then we have tags, and we have these cute little buttons. And then we have comments and some other stuff. Here at the top, we have all these things. I will have to figure out how to put in icons in here for you guys. That will be one more thing to figure out. And also noticing that we have, or you have there your lines. So let's actually have fun with that first. Let's do the default article header. Or how would you guys, solve this? What would you do to establish this design from little that you know? Let me add in here, say, author stuff, so that we can visualize it at least a little. So this is default without anything else added. What is the next step here? We want to implement this design.
I think we have to make like 3 columns there. No. 2. One is for the profile and one is for the icons. Is that correct?
So we do have, we must stand here for a moment. Sorry, Henry, welcome back.
Hello, welcome back. I think
Yes,
we need to
so
make a container, which is also make a 2 column. One is
Yeah,
for
that's what I
margin
just said.
left,
But you said
one
it
for the
with
right.
more fancy ways.
so Jasper, you said 3 columns. Henry said 2 columns.
I revised
Those
myself.
500 are illusion, Jasper.
Yeah, I learned it the hard way.
So let me then go by. So we have the header. So we have that's 2 columns. One with author stuff, and another one with article sharing, for example. Let's just put it like that. Super simple. We don't want for this learning so to go too far ahead. Okay, we have we want this, so we have 2 containers. One is other stuff, one is article stuff. What do we do now with these 2? How do we position them? We have here some, I could say, padding from the previous, from above the, from the heading. But here we have that it should be like 20 pixels or so. So in our article header, we do have, so how does it goes here? So 20 pixels, 0, 30 pixels, 0. You guys know what this shortcut means for margin?
Left top, right bottom.
So for margin, if you use this shortcut, you start, the first number is for the top, and then you go by the clock. So then you go to the right, bottom, and left. Or if you use only 2 numbers, then the first number is top and bottom, and the second number is right and left the same, so you can simplify this. So this is going to give us the spacing for the border. How do we make that nice display nicely the containers or the divs inside? So because we want them to have on one side and on the other side.
Okay, so on the other stuff, on which one is the left side, create 2 columns again inside the left column, which is it's for the profile picture, and the other new column we create like a 3 rows content for the writer's name and etc.
You are going needlessly complicated. Also, remember every time you add a div, it will take the page longer to load. In this case, it doesn't matter because it's like milliseconds, but you have to kind of have the approach to be more, or in this
Efficient.
case, more efficient with how much you put on the page. We already have at this point everything we need to put it there. So and let's take a look here. So we have here something called display, and here, as we rotate through all the different things, we'll see it will change based on the different options to display. So and we have here WebKit box. We don't want that because experimental, reverse. What about this one? Is that something that we want?
So we could just summon the component there?
No, we are now working with something called display property in CSS, which allows us to do specific things. For example, there's display inline, display block, which is the default. Display contents. I'm not exactly sure the content. That's the first time I'm seeing it. So let's take a look. Display content. Okay, so that's a new one which is not yet fully supported. Okay, elements parent, ignoring the element itself. Okay, so that's a more advanced technique that we don't need to worry about. So what we have here is called display flex. And you can see I just click it out. There are like more options. And in this case, we also want to justify. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Just the space between should be the one to do it. Interesting. Oh, because it's, or is it? So display flags, it's Xbox. That's one of the, I would say, probably one of the most consequential addition to the CSS and displaying things, but this makes so much things easier. And here you can see on this web page, which I'm going to put into the chat for everybody. Here is list. It's kind of like a cheat sheet that lists all the different options, and that you can do there and work with. And we want to do here. So if we go back here to our system, so we want to do display flags. And oops, what just happened there? Article header, and here we can do this, for example, last child, because in this case, what we want for the last child is to have align the text to the right. In which case, if I got it correctly, we shall see. So we have the display there, and that would be like that. figure out though why it's not thinking it's a last child. That or not? Be like that. Yes. So in this case, we define this as the parent, and this is then where we define the last child. So we say where class is article header, the child, which is a div, select the last child, and then align that. So we have that nicely set up in how we want to display it. Now, last thing before we go for a break here, what do we do about this line here?
We add the HR.
That's one option.
Henry, can you help me with the different options here?
Yeah. This is because HR is kind of like the easy one there, but then you would have to add
That's
here. Yeah.
BR.
You would that's what we would have to do here. Add here like white space. But since we already have here, gonna give you a hint. I added 30 pixels at the bottom here, which if you notice is the 30 pixels from the line.
Okay. So
And then we have 20 pixels also like on the top and bottom there. So how can we simplify without using an additional element? Because we don't need it, because if you think about it, think this also from the position of the screen reader. You have here the header. You don't need here like an additional separator because it's already separated, or this one is separated in its own. The only thing that we can maybe do here is, which is what this is going to end up with anyway in the final code. Once we start adding that, it's gonna be like a section. Think about margin and padding combination. This padding bottom will be 20 pixels, and let's do border bottom pixels solid, say black for now, and I'll leave that to you guys later to improve color.
Oh, I see.
So this way, what we did here, Henry, can you explain what I did there?
So you basically like make a padding there, and you make a thin line with the bottom. Yeah, you basically make a line. Yes, you make a line on that below the outer stuff and article sharing.
Yes. So
but I wonder why it's not showing.
No, it's showing right now. I just have it here with the. So it's there.
I cannot see that. Where's the
Oh, you don't see it because it's. I have to zoom in.
Yeah, okay. I see it now. Yeah. Okay.
Now
just sadly the quality of the stream for some reason. So it's there. If I, for example, make it to. So right now it's just 1 pixel, but if I improve it to 5 pixels,
no,
one visible.
So, yeah, basically you make a border, a very small one with a solid color in it that kind of like represent a line.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not technically a line, but because it's so small, everybody will see it as a line.
Yeah, it's visually a line. You know, if I needed there to be this separator for the screen reader, then I would use, as you said correctly, HR to create an actual physical line there.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it's not needed. It will actually make no sense because given of the structure that we have. So I can, let's say, cheat on the visuals. Plus, I don't have any specific other things that I need to worry about here, like that would force me to use the line. So I can use the border bottom property, the CSS property, where I said, okay, it's 1 pixel, it's a solid line, and it's in this case it's black, and we can change that. Let's see, border bottom style, and there can be no dash, dotted, double, which I think it's not going to show because it's too small, groove, within, inset, all that stuff. So if I do the double line here, I will have to let me increase it like to 5 pixels. So it's much more visible of the different styles. So this one is groove, then inset, outset, rich, and solid, and all that stuff. Obviously, if you're like 1 pixel, then it's always solid, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So yeah, then I use then the 20 pixels to have to copy the separation between the content and the line in the design, and then I use margin 30 pixel on the bottom to finish the separation between the line and the next content. So I am going to push. Oops, I am. Let me press Ctrl save. I am going to push this, and the next step, guys, I would like you to take on. I would say, let's see, on the design part. Let's see. Henry, you are going to have it more challenging because the main part of it for you here will be to get more in depth,
Yes.
while Jasper is going to just have the basic things. So Jasper, for you, what I would like to create here is these. This one are the tags. We already have them in the Literary Universe design already. Let me check if we have it here in the design book. It should be, what are they called? Chip. That's the one. So there is also let's say an extended option to make them look, or actually let me double check here on the design. So yeah, so we have, first you have the chip. Right now they don't have the border, so you will have to add that border in their design. That's actually something you can submit into the code as well. And then you have here our buttons. Let's see. Yes, those are buttons. They have very similar design here. So that one is actually the default button already existing, so we can copy the existing CSS from our code. So that will be for you, Jasper, to create these. Don't worry about the icons. I will have to figure out how to have them properly integrated in that system. So don't worry about these yet, or for now. You can just put in some random text instead. So that's what I want you to do as your homework. That shouldn't take for long. And Henry, for you, the more difficult one, especially when it comes
Yes.
to positioning, will be here the top header.
Okay.
What you will be playing here a lot with will be the flags. So
Okay.
this one, for example, is a flex. Would be a flex display. You have actually one flex display here. Then this part is another one, and this one is actually simpler. So you will be playing with those a lot, which will kind of give you good idea about that. And let's see, what else would I like you to do here? Then I guess I would like you then to also do here the comments, and
Okay. Okay.
you have put here some quite annoying stuff to design. So
Okay.
so that should kind of, give you good idea, especially for your future design, to know if you create something like this, that what's going to entitle to create this. I will probably have to help you with that. Honestly, there's like multiple options how to achieve this or how to work with it. So that, and this one. And yeah, Jasper, I also have you do the about the author, so that both of you have two things. And in here, you will have a little bit of a flex potentially as well, but you can actually do it without flex. Now that I look on it, maybe if you want to here, like on the universes, 23 stories, all that stuff, you could do that with flex or with other display options. That's possible. In this case, though, you're using the vertical line, and you can actually find that in the. Let me actually maybe get this ready for you. Let me take a look. Search. Going to find here something called separator. And I'm going to copy the code that we have here for that separator. Solid. Let me check the. We have border palette. I'm pretty sure we have it. The question, if we have it here. Oh, we don't have it set up here yet. So in the light theme. Or is it shared? It would be strange. It's in the light theme right here. So we have here the palette border 0. I'll have to find what done is exactly. And then we have the second one. It's this color, and this one is shadow -2, 1, 2. So it's this. So then I want to do it. We have to change this to variable. Palette border, I believe, was about 0. So it's like that. We'll have the default margin on this, padding with right auto, display inline, and there we go. So this should help you out to get the separators there. You will have to use something called area orientation, which so I have like a div, even a class. In this case it will be HR to do area orientation. You look here, it's horizontal. So that will be horizontal one if you wanted, but because of this, by default, you will need to do here, of course, put in the separation class.
Jan, I'm sorry. What is HR mean? It's like a page break.
It's a line. Not exactly sure what it stands for. Horizontal. Yeah, it's just like very, very early on. So you have to add a class separator. This one would make it normal horizontal line. And you want to add here vertical. And let's see if we can add this somewhere here in the article sharing. Stats. Just for this, hopefully this should have been enough. Let's see. Yeah, so now you see it's right here. And this also, now that we have the proper color there for the border color, let me, instead of border bottom, it's going to be this nice color. But, that should give you enough for these separators. This, you might need to probably adjust the color color there a little bit, and we have to then make sure that it gets properly transferred over. Let's see. Yeah, I think, yeah, let's not worry about the rest of the page for now. I just want you guys to kind of get more experience with this. I know, search through. Remember this cheat sheet website to Flexbox, especially you, Henry.
Yes.
I am also quickly going to add in the button CSS, which is quite extensive, that we have, and I will have to really probably work a little bit more on it after this, but it will be applied to the default button display. So that's we don't need this or this. And I will have to make sure that all of these.
Yeah, and I was wondering what the dollar means.
So in this case, that's just a internal. There are like two ways. One, in this case, it's just for the name of the variable in CSS. This dollar specifically for style components. What it tells the style components is just apply this to this style and don't send that variable further on, because normally, especially in the next version, it will send it on to the HTML itself, and we don't want that. But in this case, also the dollar here before the parentheses, that's because normally this is in a string literal. I think that's how it's called. So if you add this dollar sign and then open these parentheses, that then it will then know, okay, I need to execute that code that is inside this and add that in and return a string from that, or it should this go to return string. So that will take care of, but I think we don't need this part here at all. I will have to add here the default border radius. If prop border, we don't have to worry about that anymore. And if it's active, oh, bless you there.
What's that?
Just
Are having hiccups?
Is that you?
Sorry. So, yeah, it's me. Sorry. Not really
Second
well.
reverse.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to fix these a little bit up because we need to get here the. Let's see the background. I think that should be already in here as a variable. Palette. Oh, and this should be then be not just border, but it should be light as well. So
Yeah, and if we talk about string, we are talking about like coding itself, correct? Like JavaScript, something different language like
you don't
that.
have to worry about that. That's what the developers exist for too. So we have the background text. I want to just quickly get the. We definitely have the background. But in this case, it's background text 2. Just a moment. Which I still don't have here. So background text 012 in the light this color, in the dark okay, it's the FAFA, so it's the same. So if you so that's R light text. This one. And it's complaining here that it wants, in this case, it's just not the background too.
Like background.
I quickly define here as well. Oh no, we already have that defined. Okay, so good. That makes it easier. Then we have the grayscale, which I do believe that's different for each. Do we even have it here, grayscale? Yes, grayscale. At the end is the number 4. Wow. Sure, if we have number 4 here. One way to find out. No, we don't. One, two, three, and not 4. So let's quickly change that since we need it. Where's my grayscale? So the light theme, this one, dark theme. It's and not sure about the border radius here. Might be here. I'm just going to do the default border radius. Yes, which we have set. So border radius. Let's see. Oh, then we have the shadow. Yikes. Dark. We have shadow 0, and it wants. I'm guessing was it -2? Let's jump here. Yeah, -2. Where we have shadow. Yeah. Grayscale, primary match, light shadow. Think. So one is 7, 2 is 5, is 3, 4, 6, 15, and then we have 5, and this becomes your puts 5. Light and seems to me to be the. Oh, it's the same for. It is the same for dark with the exception of it being, of course, dark. Or, sorry, light. 255 everywhere stuff. like this. I think we need the text now, so I'm going to keep it. So if we go -2, this is -1, this is -2, and so that will be number 4 here. And that should be it. That shows that we have to get also this background color in the after. Let me check if we have it, if that's actually there like that. Yes, that's probably something that we'll have to get into some sort of variable. So let's do a quick test of a button. And see if I got it correctly or if it's going to be absolutely horrendous. Oh, looks like that the one we have. So that's a perfect stuff. So I made it even easier for you, Jasper.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah. So that's it. I think that should be a quick, a nice homework for you guys to try out, to figure out the different displays and flags and all that stuff. So I'll leave that to you. Bonus points if you can figure out this little thing down here, how to move it properly over here. You can feel free to look into the actual code of the Dreamverse. And with that, question time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just want to confirm that you haven't pushed anything to GitHub.
Yes, everything has been pushed.
Because from my screen, I still see the block design template as content only.
Yeah. You open it here. You can do right click, and you copy path, and then you put that in the browser, and you will be. It will show you the preview, or let's see if maybe if I do start debugging.
So I couldn't find the post.html file in my Visual Studio Code.
Did you make sure to pull?
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and you
haven't
need to
put
make
anything.
sure that you are on the develop branch.
Okay.
Okay, let me get my thing sorted out.
Okay.
Let's go for this thing. So, Henry, any questions?
Yeah, I've been trying to pull also. I haven't found that push. Yeah.
Open up your Git Kraken. Make sure you are in the correct repository.
Yes, that block design template.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah, I already made the. Okay, the branch fill repository. Okay, and try to make a pull. And let's see in my edit block this template. Yeah, I haven't found post.html. How about you, Jasper? Do you have found something?
Uh, not no
It's-
from me also so far.
It's
Yes.
right there, guys. It's in
It's
the
right there. Okay, let me check. Perhaps. Fetch all. Shall I
post.html is the page.
fetch all and pull? Okay.
Yeah.
Pull successfully. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so Jasper, we need to push the drop down and fetch all. And we will see the post button, the
Yeah.
post.html.
Okay. So, any more questions to the code or?
So far, so good. And perhaps if I find some challenge, I maybe disturb you, Jan.
Yeah, no problem. I want you
thank
to
you.
really get into understanding, especially the positioning.
Yes, Jan.
And let's see. And if you can get more knowledge of CSS and HTML in general, that would be also be work out for the best. All right, it's 4 o'clock at my place. I don't even want to know how late it's for you guys, so we'll be ending the stream here. Good night, and next week we'll be continuing fixing it together. We'll start with me checking out the homework. When you have finished it, make sure to commit and push all the changes, and we'll check it out next week, and then we'll be back to our regular scheduling, and hopefully probably not next week, but week after we might have some additional guests as well. There might be in the coming months, hopefully, opportunity where somebody else is going to come on in and we'll be discussing. Will be just a developer talk, and so yeah, good things are happening and things are progressing. So everybody, stay tuned. I think very interesting announcements are coming up soon. Okay, goodbye.
Okay. Good
All
night.
right.
Thank you very
Goodbye.
much,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.